Welcome to No Apologies on Beck, where we are unafraid to speak the truth. I am your host, Rick Becker, our co-host, Lori Hintz.
Hi there.
Lori, I'm feeling good.
I am not feeling good because I did not get enough sleep this weekend. It was a really short weekend with less sleep, and I'm really, really tired of daylight saving rant over. Yeah.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah.
I'm feeling good because today was the first day that we stopped with the idiocy of wearing masks in the chamber.
Good.
Yes.
Oh, I'm so happy.
Yep.
Yay.
Very. So I'm in a very
So you've
jovial
had
mood.
far more oxygen
Right.
today, probably.
I'm wearing a vest.
I noticed that.
So I'm also in a very business mood.
He's
and
all
then
business. With lots of
yesterday I
oxygen.
think was National Steak Day or something like that, and I'm going to be celebrating tonight, going out for steak. So
today is National Napping Day.
Napping Day.
It
Well,
is
we'll do that
National
after
Napping
the
Day because they
steak.
do that after the daylight savings change.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's National Napping Day, the first day after the messed up circadian rhythms, which we will get to later.
Okay.
Okay. All right,
First
let's
topic
go. Let's
I
hit
wanted
it.
to cover Joe Manchin. I like him because he keeps the Democrats in line a little bit from
Honest.
going too crazy on their far leftist crazy policies. But Joseph.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, John Cornyn is in on this one too. I'm like, seriously.
Texas, talk to your
Right?
senator.
Like, seriously, dude.
Here's what we're talking about.
Okay.
It is the See Something, Say Something online act.
Yikes.
With Manchin being the primary, and then, of course, as you said, Cornyn is like
yeah.
in there. I don't
And
know what
eye
they're
rolling.
thinking. This is really, really bad, folks. And I know you tune in to watch us to give you all of the bad news in your life. Actually,
The honesty.
here's what I think it is. People are tuning in because they're realizing that what's going on elsewhere in the country is such a crap show
Right.
that the stuff that they're unhappy about in their own life is actually okay.
Not so bad,
It's
right?
okay.
Comparatively,
Right.
yeah. Compared to what's going on in Washington.
Right.
No, no kidding.
You don't have communists trying to take over your family,
Yet.
I assume.
Yeah.
But we do have communists trying to take over country.
Yeah, this is insane.
So anyway, stay tuned. We're going to keep you.
Okay, so this bill
relatively
is
happy.
this is the they call it, as you said, the See Something Say Something Online Act. But what it is it is basically Narc City.
Yep.
Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong at all. Not wrong at all. Let's pull up a graphic just so that everyone knows it's a real thing.
Yeah, right.
This is it. Senate Bill 4758 in the 116th Congress.
It doesn't exactly roll off the tongue. You can't remember that number very easily. But it is very, very important because it's going to usurp all of the privacy that you may have had, on any type of electronic communications previously. If you thought Facebook censoring you was bad, just wait until you hear about this thing.
Yeah. So we got to tell you a little bit about it. This legislation says any interactive computer service provider, and a lot of this is coming from Reason magazine, which I love, so that's basically everyone. It doesn't matter if you're a small-time blogger, it doesn't matter.
Anything.
Anybody will lose Section 230 protections, meaning you can be sued by anyone for what you put on if they fail to report any known user activity that might be deemed suspicious. And suspicious is defined as any post, private message, comment,
Seriously?
tag, transaction, or, quote, any other user-generated content or transmission, end quote, that government officials later determine commits, facilitates, incites, promotes, or otherwise assists the commission of a major crime. I mean,
Private
it's everything.
message, dude.
Right.
Seriously, are you kidding me? It's the thought police. It's finally happened.
Right. I just can't believe this. And I'll be curious because this allegedly would go against the left and the right, or I should say the Democrats and the
Supposedly,
Republicans.
right.
It's such a crazy overreach. Here's what is done. For any of these activities, a suspicious transmission activity report. A STAR report. It has to be filled out, and it has to be done within 30 days. And in that report, it gives the user's name, their location, various other identifying information. And then once you identify, first off, when you submit it, you're anonymous.
Right.
Once you submit it, you can't talk about it. You can't talk about it. It just goes in. The government takes it, says, "Thank you very much. We're going to do what we're going to do."
Right.
It's exempt from the FOIA, Freedom of Information Act. So you can't get at it. So you can narc
anonymously
on your neighbor anonymously, and no one can ever talk about it, but the government will act on it.
Yeah. This is the thing that caught my eye is that if you look a little further down, it says a new federal agency would handle the suspicious activity reports.
Oh,
a
thank
new
goodness.
federal agency. That's what we need. We need more federal agencies.
I was just thinking
because we
that.
clearly have not had enough federal
I was
agencies.
just thinking
we
that.
need a new star federal agency, clearly. So let's do that.
We
And
only
why
have
is a
6,000.
Republican like Cornyn even having his name on this? That's
I
the
don't
part
know.
that just drives me
Texas,
crazy.
call Cornyn's office.
Like note to self.
Right.
Anyway,
And yeah, this is going to be so easy. Think about now when you post something, how people are going to troll you and then try and like just cause your life to be uncomfortable because you put up an opinion that they didn't like. Now they can go to the government, be anonymous, file a complaint, and then the government starts a file on you.
Right? This is, an easy online way for people to flag each other's social media accounts, just like that, and they'll just take you out. You'll be off the internet completely.
Yep.
So yeah, this is, and so I like how you put the segment title on this because what you did is you juxtaposed this new law being put forth with past history and what's happened.
Yes, absolutely. So keep in mind, this is a bill put forth by a moderate Democrat and a veteran Republican.
Right.
And it is so extreme that we decided to bring up some good complementary policies from other countries. Now, the first one I brought up is the Sicherheitsdienst, which is a German Nazi type thing where they had people telling on each other. But if we go back to the Nazi era, and so we've got some examples here, because you can't go in American policy and jurisprudence to find examples in the past 150 years. You've got to go to other countries.
Yep.
So we've got the Gestapo, which is the secret state police. The Gestapo ruthlessly eliminated, this is by Encyclopedia Britannica, eliminated opposition to the Nazis. It was a political arm, much the way this will be used.
Same sort of thing, a new federal agency.
Exactly. And they followed all of that, and then they ended up even moving into a policing action against the Jews. So you determine those that are undesirable.
Correct.
Or what's the term Clinton used?
Deplorables.
You've determined who the deplorables are, and then you've got your police on site ready to go. It had a very small size. The Gestapo had a very small size, about 32,000 people at the end of 1944. So they relied on local Germans, the populace, to make the denunciations against their neighbors and against their fellow family members.
Totally see it happening. You can absolutely see it happening in real time. And
Right.
it's frightening, and it's so frustrating that we've been down this road before with the Germans, and we're learning nothing.
I've got more.
Oh, you've got more.
Yeah, you ready?
Great. Okay, more.
Forget
All right,
the
that's
Gestapo.
one and
We've
more.
got the Stasi.
Yes.
Stasi. So the Stasi, which
Yep.
is the Ministry for State Security. Now this is post-Nazi Germany after the end of World War II. The communists came in, controlled East Germany, which, by the way, folks, this is a good point of clarification. The Nazis are, you're told that they're the right. They're not the right, they're the left. They're big government, and they control people in a certain way. The communists, who we all agree are left, they came in, had the same policies because they're big government controlling people. We're talking about totalitarian regimes.
Right.
This left-right crap doesn't apply in this case.
The Stasi became known for kidnapping former East German officials who had fled the country. Many of those then were, of course, forcibly returned or, of course, executed. So once again, they take the first step. They identify the deplorables. Boom, there's another one. Okay,
Next,
so
KGB.
Moving on. Yes, another country.
Committee for State Security,
Same
that's what
sort
it
of
stands
thing.
for.
Go
Same
figure.
thing. They got people to be telling on each other. Between 1945 and 53, more than 750,000 of Soviet citizens were arrested and punished for political crimes. By 1953, a total of 2,750,000 Soviet citizens were jailed or put in forced labor camps because of policies like this one.
The execution of more than 140,000 people by the KGB.
Yeah. Next up, Cuba. Cuba, ladies and gentlemen. There's a new decree. Prosecutors can approve eavesdropping and surveillance of any form of communication without consulting a judge. This is something that just came through in the wonderful, wonderful land of Cuba. And the decree is intended to raise the effectiveness of the prevention of and fight against crime.
That was just
so
in 2019.
They can follow posts and telephone calls and other stuff. Good job, Cuba.
Then you've got North Korea, and North Korea, the same sort of thing to fight such use. North Korea rolled out mandatory software updates to mobile devices on its network that actively seek out and delete illegal foreign media files. Just deletes them automatically.
So good job, Cornyn. You're in the league with North Korea. Next and last up is China.
Yeah, this is my favorite one.
Right.
Because they've got cameras everywhere.
And what they're starting to do is they're looking at ways to give citizens a score, and you'll be limited in society of what you can do based on your score. And if you even hang out with anyone who has a low score, it'll drop your score down. So that's going to make you a pariah. So if you are someone who doesn't agree with the policies of China, good luck. Your life is basically over. This was an episode in Black Mirror. I don't know if you ever watched that. And that was before China was doing it. It was very prescient, as you like to say.
Prescient.
All right.
Okay, here we go.
There you
We're
go.
Here. There's tons of
Thanks for hanging with us. We're going to be back with Senator Janne Myrdal talking about ERA. What? Is it 1970s?
Respect, innovation, trust, and excellence. These core values can be seen in every building built by Straightway Construction. In the community for over 15 years, Straightway Construction has become the premier construction company for commercial projects. From dirt to design and framing to finish, Straightway Construction is your #1 choice. You won't have to look far to find a project that has that Straightway touch. Call them today or go online to straightwayconstruction.com and let them make your vision a reality.
Hi, I'm Dennis Haugen, along with my sons Andy and Mike, and we're showing our support for wind energy in North Dakota.
Wind energy has provided farmers like us with a steady stream of income that's not tied to the weather like crops and cattle are.
Another bonus is that wind farm owners are required to maintain the roads leading up to the turbines. Because of that, oftentimes these roads are the best in the county. Wind energy is good for landowners, it's good for the land, it's good for our economy, and it's good for North Dakota.
There's nothing more important than family. And at Prairie Rose Family Dentists, we get it. That's why we have more locations, more dentists, specialists, extended hours, pediatric clinics, and even emergency appointments, so you can always be seen. Book your appointment today at prairierosedentist.com. Prairie Rose Family Dentists. We are family.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
Pub 21, your one stop for fun, drinks, and food. Our spacious facility provides COVID-safe fun for you and all your friends. With nightly bingo and specials, you can be sure there's something to do for everyone. If you're staying in for the night, we've got you covered just across the way with Pub 21 Liquor. We have a wide variety of options, from wine to whiskey and everything in between. Stop in today at 1014 South 12th Street in Bismarck to see what all the buzz is about. You won't be disappointed.
Welcome back to No Apologies on Beck. We are here with Senator Janne Myrdal from District 10, a now repeat guest.
Repeat,
of
that's
the show.
right. Gosh, I feel famous.
Yeah. So we've asked Senator Myrdal to be here to talk about Senate Concurrent Resolution 4010. I find it intriguing because at first glance, it's about the ERA amendment, which is from the 1970s. And now I don't know what we're bringing up. So I am going to invite you, Janne, to let our viewers know what is this about?
Well, it's the Equal Rights Amendment, right? So, and we all believe in equal rights. There's no doubt about that. But it was the big fight for that was in the late 60s, early 70s. And the federal government, Congress, actually passed it 2/3 and sent it to the states to be X amount of states to ratify it. Well, they gave it a 7-year sunset clause or 7-year deadline for the states to have enough states, I think it's 38 or whatever, to ratify. And they didn't make it. So it kind of fizzled away. And so it's basically a horse that died 42 years ago and needs a proper burial, right? Well, it's true.
Right.
And meanwhile, we have the 14th Amendment, we have equal rights. For goodness sake, we have a woman who's a vice president now. And I think we're doing fine in America. And all of a sudden comes this administration in Washington right now, and they want to say, oh, no, it really didn't die. No, Becker, it didn't die. We just put it in a drawer and forgot to open it. So they want to...
Preserved? I mean, I don't understand. What do you mean? It's a long
It's
time.
alive. Yes, exactly. I don't think we weren't born yet, were we?
No, I was very young.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, there's only one here with gray hair, I'm just saying. So, whoops.
Watch it, Becker.
Whoa.
Just saying.
Anyway, so what they want to do with this has nothing to do with women's rights, but it says no discrimination based on sex. Well, in some court cases, one in, I want to say New Mexico, one is going on in Pennsylvania, Congress this week, potentially, maybe next week, wants to vote again and say, oh, it didn't die. And they're going to use it to codify. Listen to this. You just talked about the federal government and more agencies. They want to use it to codify abortion through the 9th month in federal law.
So they're just
So
doing
therefore, we brought it up, not to rescind it, because it's dead,
Right.
but to just say that, and the Senate passed it.
Clarify.
To clarify that it died. If you want another ERA amendment, start over. And so now it's on your side. So people are kind of freaking out that I'm anti-women and all kinds of things.
I wouldn't say that you are anti-women.
They do, yeah. Well,
that's weird.
That is weird.
You're anti-you?
Apparently, I hate myself, yes.
So can you explain a little bit more, because as it says here, what we're thinking about with ERA is just equal rights for women, and at least back in the 70s it was a simple concept. So what is it that you're referring to now? How does that play into the abortion debate?
Because they're interpreting it, and they actually started back then too to interpret it. That's where you saw these large conservative women's organizations like Phyllis Schlafly, Mrs. Beverly LaHaye start off of that, and sort of the feminist movement split in two from conservative to liberal, because they take the word no discrimination based on sex as meaning a woman's sex, and she's the only one who can get pregnant, right? So that means you can't take away any of her rights for abortion. That's how they stretch that language.
They viewed that as a right of a woman.
Exactly, and so they would, if they passed it in Congress again, not 2/3 again, but like I said, just monkey court this week or next week, and counted North Dakota as still being active among the active ones, they would nullify all that we've done in abortion code in North Dakota and every other state because abortion has never been codified in federal law. It came through the Supreme Court, which gave us rights on a state level. Created something, yes, exactly. A right that doesn't exist in the Constitution.
Exactly.
So we just are not involved with it at all then by this?
Yes, if the House passes it, we're basically saying, we're not rescinding it, we're just saying, sorry, it died.
We're out.
We're out. So I stood on the floor and said, this horse died, it's starting to stink, we should probably bury it. It died. It's a non-effective thing. And no, guys, men in the House, you're not voting against women if you vote for this resolution. Nothing to do with it.
That's the danger with things like this, is it's super confusing. I mean, it's very, very confusing. People go, well, I'm not voting against the ERA. You know what I'm saying? That's always the issue, is that the wording of these things gets messed up, and people are confused about what they're voting. So you have to be really, really specific with people.
Yeah, you are not, if you vote for 4010 in the House of Representatives, you're not voting against women's equality. Absolutely not. You're just voting to say it died in 79,
You're
42 years ago.
For North Dakota and not against women.
There you go. Exactly. And bring it back. Let's have that discussion. I think there's one person, Rick, in our Legislative Assembly now that was there back then.
Wow.
Maybe. or starting to come in. None of us have voted on this. And so it's an old dog.
Well,
horse,
I think Representative Bob Martinson came in 73.
Okay, so yeah, there you go.
I think maybe no one has been there.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
That was Roe v.
Very
Wade.
interesting. And this passed on a voice vote, so there wasn't a.
Yep, and I asked for
recorded roll call or verification.
No, verification vote.
Okay, verification. So verification vote just means that everyone has to push the button to vote yes or no. We don't know who voted how, but we do know what the actual tally is. And did they report the tally?
Yes, they reported the tally. It was I want to say 30 to something.
Really?
Yeah, it was pretty high.
I was expecting this was going to be a 40. There's 47 senators. I was expecting 45,
no, it was
46.
30. I want to say 30 something to something. And because, and for your viewers too, when it's a resolution, it's a voice vote, right? So if you yell "aye" that loudest, or that's why I asked for a verification.
Right,
vote.
that's a good idea,
Sure.
just to make sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
Interesting. Very interesting.
And the whole nation is watching this. Actually, the whole nation is watching this in the House.
Are there
because
other
it's
states
that
going through the
important.
same thing right now
Yes,
too?
they're actually saying that
Legislatures?
our resolution 4010 is the best one in the nation,
Ooh.
and if we can pass it,
It'll set
they're going to follow
precedent for
suit.
other
Yes,
other
that's a big,
states to
that's
go
a big
along.
deal. It's a really big deal. Yeah.
I love it when we lead the nation on
Exactly.
stuff. That
We
is
should on
super
lots
cool.
Other things.
I
yes.
like that.
Absolutely.
Was there any opposition testimony at all?
Oh yes, there was a usual, women's lib kind of thing, which I stood up and said, once again, I'm a feminist. All that means is of the feminine sex, and I'm for equal rights. I think we all are. I can imagine living today not being for equal rights.
Well, of course, yeah.
But it was all about, oh my gosh, we're going to go back in the dark ages, and they misunderstood the whole thing and called my arguments about abortion a boogeyman, but it's not. If there's something I know about, it's that issue. So.
Gotcha. All right. Well, Janne,
Thank you
I
for
appreciate
doing that,
you
and
being
thanks for
on
putting
with
that
us.
forth.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No problem.
Very interesting. Bringing back the 70s, doing a little disco.
Yeah, I know. You can. I'm not.
I have, and I will again.
That's how I grew up, was disco.
I've seen it.
All right,
Thanks for coming.
folks, we are going to be back. We're going to be talking about another very interesting bill that came from the Senate in the House. Hang with us. We'll be right back.
Jeez, what a mess. Look at that. There's roof stuff everywhere. It's so embarrassing. Ruins the neighborhood. Come on, humans. Let's get this fixed.
Don't let your roof go to the dogs. Call America's Best Contractors for your free estimate.
Need a new woof?
After checking with the rest, go with the best. America's Best Contractors. 258-2412. Online at americasbestcontractorsincorporated.com.
Beck Communications is now hiring independent sales agents around the state. We're looking for highly motivated individuals to take advantage of this opportunity, selling advertising for our news and sports programming on Beck TV and sponsorships for the Bismarck Bucks indoor football team. Independent sales agents will make 50% commission on their completed sales for all products. Beck TV is the leader in broadcasting local sports, owner of the Bismarck Bucks indoor football team, and originator of newly launched news opinion programming. Submit your application now at careers@bechtel.coop. This is an exciting opportunity you can't pass up. 50% commission for independent sales agents now hiring at Beck Communications.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. The first night you sleep on my sheets, you'll never want to sleep on anything else.
Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen right now to get your very own MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets. When you buy one set of sheets, you'll get another set absolutely free.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
Ever been in a cave before?
It's our first time.
All right.
Where are you going?
I'll see you at the car!
How will we?
The car! Your offer has been accepted. Ever bought a house before?
It's our first time.
All right.
Where are you going?
I'll see you at the closing.
But how will we?
The closing!
The experienced professionals at Superior Glass provide residential and commercial glass installation and repair services in central and western North Dakota. Superior Glass is your source for stained glass projects, mirrors, windows, touchless, and automated entry solutions. Stop by and see us at 3323 East Broadway in Bismarck or call us at 701-258-5600. Superior Glass, where you get superior service for less. Bye for now.
Welcome back to No Apologies on Beck, your after-hours oasis of sanity. I'm your host, Rick Becker, co-host Lori Hintz.
He's really gotten a lot of oxygen today. I can tell.
It's
You're
the
really peppy.
best.
It's the best that makes you peppy.
It's the best.
That's very nice.
Okay.
This is slimming.
Here we go. We're going to talk about Senate Bill 2245. 2245. This one, someone alerted me to as something to look into. So I did. The Senate Bill 2245 is a bill which started off at $15 million. It got dropped down to $10 million. What it is classic cronyism, corporate welfare, $10 million for a buyout of foreclosed assets which banks are holding. We're talking about Minot. Folks from Minot like it because it is free money to help out, I guess, the economy of Minot.
Okay.
Intermodal. So there's intermodal shipping. Okay, now real quick, what that means is if you've got something you want to ship out, say to China, right? You have to maybe put it on a truck and then it gets unloaded, put into a different container, put on the railroad in a rail car, gets unloaded, put into a different container, gets
Shipping
put on a ship.
Yep.
So intermodal means, hey, you take it up to the intermodal facility, you put it in one container. That container is good to put on trucks. You just lift the container up, put it on a train. You just lift the container up, you put it on a ship.
Got it.
You just lift the container up, you put it on a different train when it's over in China.
Yep.
If they can get past the thick smoke from their multitude of coal, coal plants they're building.
Yep.
So it's a great idea. The thing is that in Minot, it started off, it started about 20 years ago, but it came up, someone invested in it big time. A group did, a business did. They borrowed money, they kind of built things out. It failed.
Okay.
It failed. So Minot is holding the bag on a lot of money they invested. They claim they invested $12 million. The banks foreclosed on the business. The banks are holding the assets. In other words, holding the debt. They want someone to buy the assets. Just like if you foreclose a home, the bank is sitting there with the home. They're stuck with it. They're kind of in a bad situation. They want to get rid of it. This bill
is a bailout.
Of the $10 million bails out
it's a bailout.
The two banks.
Wow.
Now the banks are the Bank of North Dakota.
Okay.
And First Western.
Of course.
Which is the bank started by Senator John Hoeven's father. I don't know if Senator Hoeven still owns a significant part of the bank or what, but it is concerned. The optics are concerned. If I was Senator Hoeven, I would be concerned about this because this is a bailout for the banks.
Do we have some clips for this?
We do. Let's play the first clip. This is from the Senate hearing. It's going to be heard in the House tomorrow. These are clips from the Senate hearing. Let's play the first one.
The other thing I'm just trying to understand is, can you give me a concrete example of what's going to be purchased? I'm just trying to picture. I've been to the facility, so I know what's out there, and I'm just trying to understand what is the $10 million? What is it going to purchase? What is it going to? If you could just give me just one concrete example so I can understand it better.
Sure. Chairman Holmberg and Senator Pullman. So there's a lot of rail that's installed around there, lots of rail. There's also pumps. There's a warehouse. There's equipment, some of the crane equipment that is used to pick containers up, offload them, and load them back on. You have some very large equipment that can also help, much like huge payloaders, but they're payloaders with forks and the ability to grab onto some of these cans or containers and move them. There's some transload equipment, I believe, is there. I don't have an exact inventory, but you're looking at a facility that has a lot of infrastructure already built into it. So there's a lot of intrinsic value that exists there also.
And so what would be something more new? Just more of that same equipment that you've listed?
So Chairman Holmberg and Senator Pullman, those assets right now are owned by the banks. We had to foreclose and take those. The banks, as much as they're good at what they do, they're not necessarily in the business of running a business. And for this facility to succeed, we, even at the Bank of North Dakota, have got to find some way of recovering, offloading this asset, and there's a great opportunity here that's going to help move this forward.
All right, so there's a couple of reasons I wanted to play that clip. First, kudos to Senator Nicole Pullman, because I've been in this situation before. People are talking and they're testifying and they're saying, oh, great numbers, good thing, everyone, it's great for North Dakota, great for everyone, you know. And you're kind of looking at other people and thinking, am I the only one that doesn't know what the hell's going on? Nicole had the wherewithal to say, wait a minute.
What are you talking about here?
And it's very difficult to get a straight answer. The second thing is then in that answer, the person testifying was
Doug Goring.
Exactly, Agriculture Commissioner Doug Goring, and he said the bank are the ones that are holding these assets. So this money is to pay the bank for the assets, and in his words, they want to offload those assets, meaning that the citizens of North Dakota are going to bail out the banks. Let's play the next clip, please.
The ask today is to purchase the improvements that the banks financed. Because otherwise, if we have to go into the commercial market and find the money, it doesn't cash flow. It doesn't work. That's one of the reasons Greg Johnson isn't there, is because it doesn't work. It didn't work.
Well, my cash flow is just not working right now. For me, my cash flow just isn't working.
It's not working.
So I think I need a bailout also. I think I should probably be entitled to a bailout.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that clip is all you need to know about government. All you need to know about corporate welfare, cronyism, subsidies, bailouts. You just heard it right there. That gentleman, I didn't bring my notes, but he is, I believe, from the Minot Area Economic Development Corporation. And he is saying right there, this was tried by private business and it failed. Moreover, he's saying it can't work. It can't work. And now, what I didn't tell you is that the $10 million price tag, they testified, was only 30% of the actual value. So what they're suggesting is if you're private business, you can't even make this work if we give you a 70% discount on the cost. So then why is government getting involved? This is nuts. Last clip. Go ahead and play it.
One thought was, so who's gonna? The state's investing $10 million. So who's gonna own what we're buying? And I believe I saw $8 million for one thing and $2 million for another. And the second question is, were there any other models looked at other than the state providing a grant? I mean, was there any discussion in regards to how the state might share in the risk, or how we might get dollars back outside of how we might get dollars back from our investment? You know, and now as you're gathering your thoughts just for a second, you know, we may be asked to buy a coal plant. You know, so what are the models that we're looking at, and were any others discussed?
Chairman Holmberg, Senator Davison, I'm sorry. I'm not quite used to that. That is one of the reasons why I indicated that the city has already put $12 million into this facility and is going to continue. And they've done that thinking that it was the right thing to do, that we were in the right place. The prior operator took loans out, and he was foreclosed upon. The dollar amounts that the banks want preclude us from being able to meet those needs and to then have that operation cash flow. And in terms of ownership, in order to keep it in the public domain for at least for the foreseeable future, it will be the local economic development corporation that would own that.
So the local economic development corporate would maintain the ownership, but they would just get this infusion of $10 million.
They would. The bank owns the property. That owns all of the assets. The bank gets paid the $8 million out of the 10. And they say, okay, here, Minot Area Economic Development
Here's
Corporation, which is a nonprofit corporation. It's not government.
Right.
It's here you go. Here's all these assets for free. And what you saw, someone at the podium when Senator Davison, again, kudos to Senator Davison, asking for like, well,
Asking the tough
what
questions.
do we get out
Wait
of this?
a minute
Are
again.
we going to get a return on dollars? What these are questions that should be asked.
I'm proud of them. Very good.
And the gentleman that was up there first is someone who is working. He's actually running now 3 intermodal units throughout the nation. He's going to run more. This is a gentleman, and good for him. He's making a ton of money on this. He's saying, hey, bring in another 10 million. Let's get this baby going. I need to make some more money. He steps back because the economic development guy comes in and says, let me take this one, because you have to answer very carefully. And so what you are hearing, folks, is it's only $10 million, right? I understand you're thinking that's so tiny. Why are we even discussing it?
$10 million is
I know,
not a...
But your government, your state government appropriates
True.
$15 billion.
Agreed.
Nevertheless, corporate welfare, cronyism is a bad idea no matter where it is. This is $10 million that you could have saved in your pocketbook, North Dakota citizens, if this were not to pass. So cross your fingers. It's going to be heard by House Appropriations tomorrow morning.
And hopefully you will not pass it.
Well, I hope not. I'm getting up on the floor and talking that sucker down. All right, stick with us. I don't know if we have time. If we do, we're going to talk about brain food.
Yes, we will.
Howdy, folks. It's the Caroline Cafe. I reckon it's time you're due for a hearty meal. So saddle up for the day with one of our hay-bossing breakfast homemade soups. Fill your grill at a salad bar. Sink your teeth into our famous Caroline burger and barbecue ribs. Top it off with spoon-rattling pie with a calm roll that's sure to put a smile on even the toughest outlaws. Shake the dirt off the boots each night and warm up with the gang. Tell them about it, Stacy.
I can't wait to see you at the county line.
Since opening in Hebron in 1940, Dakota Community Bank and Trust has been your hometown bank. Our mission has been to provide modern banking convenience with old-fashioned hometown service. We've grown with the communities we serve through year-round events, countless sponsorships, and nearly 7,000 hours of volunteering each year. Learn more about our 80-year history at dakotacommunitybank.com.
Respect, innovation, trust, and excellence. These core values can be seen in every building built by Straightway Construction. In the community for over 15 years, Straightway Construction has become the premier construction company for commercial projects. From dirt to design and framing to finish, Straightway Construction is your #1 choice. You won't have to look far to find a project that has that Straightway touch. Call them today or go online to straightwayconstruction.com and let them make your vision a reality.
Jeez, what a mess. Look at that. There's roof stuff everywhere. It's so embarrassing. Ruins the neighborhood. Come on, humans. Let's get this fixed.
Don't let your roof go to the dogs. Call America's Best Contractors for your free estimate.
Need a new woof?
After checking with the rest, go with the best. America's Best Contractors. 258-2412. Online at americasbestcontractorsincorporated.com.
When you can't find answers to your recurring health challenges, it can feel like your health and your future are being held hostage. The Wellness Way is a network of health restoration clinics that think and act differently to solve the health challenges others can't. Here, we disrupt the standard approach to care through a combination of testing, individual plans, and one-on-one guidance, putting your health and your future where they belong. in your own hands.
Welcome back to No Apologies on Beck. It's time for
Brain food.
Brain food.
Yeah, maybe that's what we should do. Maybe we should just do some sort of echoey thing like that. Brain food. Right, where's my mic? Brain food. Or something like that. I like the echo effect. I think that's cool. All right, my first word is just looking at me. My very first word is circadian rhythm. And this is very near and dear to my heart because I have a weird circadian rhythm. Within the circadian, which is the 24-hour cycle, a person usually sleeps approximately 8 hours and is awake for 16. And during the wakeful hours, mental and physical functions are the most active. And it's good for your, during sleep, of course, you all of the stuff kind of drops down: respiration, heart rate, body temperature, blood pressure, all things like that, digestive systems. The circadian cycle is controlled by a region of the brain known as the hypothalamus, which is the master center for integrating rhythmic information and establishing the patterns of your sleep, so sleep patterns. The natural time signal for the circadian pattern is the change from darkness to light, aka this is timely also because of daylight saving this past week. Where daylight patterns are not consistent, as in outer space, regimented cycles are established to simulate that 24-hour day. Any drastic shift in the circadian cycle requires a certain period for readjustment, and each individual reacts to those changes differently. Travel across time zones, if you've ever had jet lag, is an effect on your circadian rhythm. That's your circadian rhythm.
Interesting. I was thinking that it had like something to do with mucus viscosity, but that's not the case.
No.
It's just sleep. Okay. All right. Next, my little tidbit.
Yes.
Pull it up, gentlemen. There you go.
It is.
Succulents.
Wow.
Succulents.
I had no idea you knew what succulents were. That's
No,
good.
I have. I was just at Cashwise and I was looking because I bought some. So I've got a box. Oh, we should do a segment. I've got a box that covers my voting buttons.
Oh.
I'll do a segment on that for you
Oh,
guys.
that would be cool.
I love it. I love it. There's so much. Anyway, in my box I made, there's a place for a little plant.
Clever.
And I had some lavender in it, but it died already. So I was at Cashwise and I was thinking I should get a succulent.
A little more hardy, maybe,
yes.
hopefully.
So a succulent is something that doesn't need watering very much. Little plant. It tends to have very thick leaves because it holds so much water. Like think aloe vera.
Like an aloe vera, right?
Yeah. So that's a succulent.
Very cool.
There you go.
Very cool. Is it my turn again?
It is.
Okay, reticular is my next word. I do not recall where I saw this. It showed up in something and it was super confusing and I didn't know what reticular was, so I looked it up. It is an adjective, which is connective tissue containing collagen fibers. That's what reticulate is, and intricate. And examples of reticular in a sentence would be: these peels can penetrate into the reticular dermis, or the lower level of the dermis, which sits below the papillary dermis, skin. Yep. He was drawn to a thin layer of inhibitory neurons called the thalamic reticular nucleus, or
Said
TRN.
nobody ever.
I know, right?
Okay, listen. Have you had a peel?
I have never had a peel.
Haven't you?
Uh-uh.
How about microdermabrasion?
I do that all the time.
Do you?
Yep, microdermabrasion all the time. Yes, interesting that you're talking skin like that. That was impressive for a boy. So I'm not.
That is so sexist.
Very sexist.
I owned a dang spa.
I am holding.
I owned a spa for many years.
You know what? That's awesome that you know that. It is. It's awesome that you know that. A lot of people talk to the hand. Okay, so detailed and complicated in design and planning, involving many carefully arranged elements, are reticular. Complex, complicated, reticular.
All right.
But I'm glad that you know about skin. That's cool. It's cool. Very manly.
Oh my God. Now, do you have a word patronizing? Because
I
I'm
do
thinking
not.
that could be used right now. All right. Next, my next little bit of nourishment for your noggin, epiphyte. So everyone likes orchids, right? And so an epiphyte does not need soil.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. As you see right there, an orchid, they frequently grow in trees.
Oh.
And for instance, my favorite place I like to talk about in Belize,
right?
There are, and I mean, it's in Hawaii, it's everywhere, but these orchids just grow
out of limbs.
They're just like sitting there. Yeah. And so an epiphyte requires no soil. Spanish moss. So if you travel in Mexico, Central America, probably Spain, I don't know, but there's moss hanging. and growing, and there's no soil around. And it hangs from wires and stuff.
Right.
Anyway, it's very interesting. I think these plants are interesting. Epiphytes,
require
no soil.
Interesting. I showed those pictures, I think, when I was down in Florida, and they had this fabulous Spanish moss hanging off of everything that would be an epiphyte. I learned
Exactly
something.
right. Exactly
Okay.
Right. Hey, folks, we're going to be back with some really, really awesome executive orders from our really, really awesome President, Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. Hang with us.
There's nothing more important than family. And at Prairie Rose Family Dentists, we get it. That's why we have more locations, more dentists, specialists, extended hours, pediatric clinics, and even emergency appointments, so you can always be seen. Book your appointment today at prairierosedentist.com. Prairie Rose Family Dentists. We are family.
Deciding how to promote your business can be hard. Visit the professionals at Dakota Promotions and Printing and let them help you through your struggle. Dakota Promotions provides promotional items and apparel, from corporate gifts to team shirts and everything in between. With quick turnaround times and friendly service, they are your best choice. And best yet, you're shopping local. Visit them online at dakotapromo.com or stop in their showroom at 320 West Main in Mandan. Dakota Promotions, delivering promotions just for you.
Hi, I'm Dennis Haugen, along with my sons Andy and Mike, and we're showing our support for wind energy in North Dakota.
Wind energy has provided farmers like us with a steady stream of income that's not tied to the weather like crops and cattle are.
Another bonus is that wind farm owners are required to maintain the roads leading up to the turbines. Because of that, oftentimes these roads are the best in the county. Wind energy is good for landowners, it's good for the land, it's good for our economy, and it's good for North Dakota.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
Now is the best time to plan for your 2021 farm equipment needs. North Dakota-based Summers Manufacturing is currently offering early order savings. Take advantage of big savings on North America's broadest tillage line, including the Super Kohler Samurai and the innovative VRT Renegade, as well as the best built, best backed land rollers in the industry. Talk to your Summers dealer today or go to summersmfg.com to learn more about early order savings available on all Summers equipment.
JR. I'm going to start saying JR.
Yeah, I just have to call him
Joseph
Robinette.
JR. My good buddy JR, he made some executive orders. You may not know this. There's a few of them.
I heard some really great over the weekend. I heard some new, little acronyms for the president. One was PINO, P-I-N-O. That's president in name only.
Oh, good one.
Isn't that a good one? And what was the other one? I can't remember. I wrote it down. But they were fantastic. They were just very, very funny. Oh, I can't find it. I'll think of it. All right, let's go to this, and I'll look it up here while we're going, because it is. Right. There's another really good one too, and
let's pretend.
Oh, I know. ALP, A-L-P, assisted living POTUS.
Oh my Lord. All right.
Okay.
First exam. We're going to cover two tonight, regardless of how much time we have.
This is number 37 of 56 we're on right now of the executive orders of President Biden.
Yep. This one is an executive order in the President's Council of Advisors on Science and Technology. This one is so very, very interesting. It designates a council to put some kind of bogus science lipstick on anything that they want. Anything that they want. So this creates something that gives a rubber stamp to all the political crap that they can say, but science.
But science.
But science.
The PCAST shall advise the President on matters involving scientific and technological information that is needed to inform public policy relating to the economy, worker empowerment, education, energy, the environment, public health, national and homeland security, racial equity, go figure, there it is again, and other topics. So they are covering everything in this one, as usual.
Do you think
because
that
science.
do you think that it's, what would it be? Would it be physics, biology? What's going to help us with racial equity?
That's a great question, isn't it? They don't even think this through. They literally put those words in there and they mean nothing over and over again.
I think worker empowerment would definitely be physics because power, P equals, hold on. This is going to come to me. I liked physics. I'll get back to you on it. That's going to be my next brain food.
That's his brain food is physics. Okay,
P
got
equals,
it.
I'm writing it down.
P equals, all right.
Power.
So what they do is they make these sweeping executive orders, and then they encompass all of these nonsensical things that they're going to cover, and then they just throw money at it. Every single time. And this is another case of that. This is number 37.
You keep talking. I think it's power equals force times something.
You're not going to wait for brain food. You just can't handle it, can you? So the thing about this one in particular is that it'll turn out that it's a good idea for the government to know exactly what computers any leftist information is coming from. Microsoft and others are already public with this, as described in Bongino's show, the other episode that we did about that. He talked about that a little bit too. This is one of those cases where there is hereby established the President's Council of Advisors on Science Technology. So another overreach, another opportunity for another agency that they can add because science. Trump's executive order, now this is the antithesis of this. Each agency shall, by September 30th, 2019, terminate at least 1/3 of its current committees. This was a great idea. Let's just get rid of them. Stated objectives of the committee have been accomplished. These are the reasons they got rid of them. Subject matter or work of the committee has been obsolete. Primary functions have been assumed by another entity or agency determined that the cost of operation is excessive in relation to the benefits of the federal government. So that's what Trump did. This is an absolute overreach. They have to flip it on its ear and do the exact opposite because that's what the EOs do.
That's what they all do. Every single one.
Yep.
For the record,
yes.
Power equals force, I was right,
force
times velocity.
Velocity, that's right.
I should have known that.
I should
but
know
it's
that
only been since 1985 since I learned that. So.
Right, so sad.
All right.
No, anyway, so because science and technology.
Did we hit our second graphic or not?
We did. We did talk about the other one. The second one was the one where Trump had rescinded a lot of the science and technology stuff, which was smart because they were unneeded any longer and they were obsolete and they were, not needed.
Trump's, not Biden's action being smart. Trump's
work
was being smart.
Yes.
Trump's executive orders are making government smaller, less complicated, less bureaucratic, and Biden undoing Trump's orders in that fashion just explicitly says, hey, we're making government bigger. We're making government less efficient. This is what we're all about.
It's frustrating.
It blows me away.
Yeah, it's so dumb.
Well, I'm glad you covered that while I was looking up some physics stuff.
Okay, should we go to 39?
Please.
All right, new graphic, please. Thank you. The Affordable Care Act, ACA, Obamacare, has reduced the number of uninsured Americans by more than 20 million, extended critical consumer protections to more than 100 million people, and strengthened and improved the nation's healthcare system. I can't do that without laughing. At the same time, millions of people who are potentially eligible for coverage under the ACA or other laws remain uninsured, and obtaining insurance benefits is more difficult than necessary. Because they don't want the insurance because it's expensive.
Well, exactly right. Now, there's a couple of things in here. One is they say one thing, but if you look at the numbers, it means another. They say that it reduced the number of uninsured Americans by 20 million, right?
Right.
Except that before we started, there was less than 1% of Americans that were uninsured, right?
Right.
And even in the executive order, it states that currently over 30 million Americans remain uninsured.
It didn't do anything,
I'm not a math
folks.
genius.
Go figure.
I'm not a math genius, but I think that there's an issue here. Obamacare did not do, as we all know, what it said it was going to do.
My favorite was the rollout of the website. I just can't laugh enough about that. It was so funny. That was a really good precursor for what was going to happen with the rest of the ACA, which was, it's just not well thought out, not well planned.
That's where I started saying .gov is a verb.
Yeah.
And with the rollout, it's like, oh man, don't tell me you're going to .gov me because.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So this one here, this is on 39.2, Executive Order 13,765 of January 20th, 2017. So this is during the Trump administration, minimizing the economic burden of the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act pending repeal, and Executive Order 13,813 of October 12th, 2017, again during the Trump administration, promoting healthcare choice and competition across the United States are revoked. This was when he rolled back the mandate, and that was the best thing he could have done, and guess what? It's back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting to me that, in Biden's executive orders, it talks about how they're going to try and tackle some of these problems. Again, 10 years after Obamacare. Where there's unnecessary barriers to individuals and families attempting to access ACA coverage. Why does that currently exist after 10 years? Where there's policies and practices that may undermine protections for people with pre-existing conditions. None of this crap works.
But
None of this
Obamacare,
crap works.
But Obamacare, folks.
That's
Yes.
why their job is it's job security. The inability of government to actually be successful is job security for all of these leftists.
Exactly
and
right.
they're brilliant. I gotta hand it to them, man. They will never be out of a job.
Join us next time. We'll have an awesome guest tomorrow on No Apologies with Becker. We'll see you then.